here with Philip Morris here at Martinsville. Took home the victory today. First of all, just tell me about that drive today.
I wish I could tell you I had some great strategy and that we had played everything out according to plan. Nothing went to plan today. I've been doing interviews with you all weekend, and it seemed like we had our act together. We practiced well. We qualified okay, and thought we had a plan for the race. Well, it turns out we didn't have a plan at all. We just went out there and just ran as hard as we could. It ended up being all the guys that we were thinking it was going to be at the end, Matt McCall and Lee Pulliam and Davin Seitz. All the good drivers were up there, and we knew there was going to be some bumping and tank slapping, and there was, my exhaust pipe was mashed shut there at one time just racing with Lee Pulliam. But I think the fans got to see some great racing, and if we hadn't had every bit of that, it wouldn't be as great a victory for us. So I'm just thankful to have made it to victory lane. Any one of those guys deserve it as much as I do, but I'm just thankful we got it.
Yeah, and this car's been good ever since you unloaded here. People's, your name comes up. You're the guy to beat here. Pulliam's been really good here, and y'all raced side by side for a long time. What was your mindset when he got up beside you? Because he looked like you simply said, "I'm not having that," and y'all raced hard there.
I thought he simply said, "I'm not having that," because he was on the outside and he chose to race me that hard for, it seemed like, a lifetime. 20 laps it seemed like. And I can only imagine that he was just over there like a thoroughbred, just nostrils flaring, not giving up. And that's, he's a young athletic guy, and I wouldn't expect anything less, and I knew I was just going to have to tough it out. And it turned out good, except when we got to the restart right after that, which made all that for naught. And I wish I could tell you that we fell back as a strategy, but we fell back too far. I mean, we missed the shift, and everybody, we had them going around us 3 and 4 wide, and I thought, even then, I was like, well, maybe this ain't such a bad thing until they did the invert and we were back in 7th. And, man, I think it was just our day. I mean, to come back from 7th here at Martinsville is a tough thing to do. I mean, starting on the front row is really what you need to do to win this race, and that's a good strategy. So I think we did a poor job on strategy, but we did a better job just humbling ourselves and keeping it real.
Yeah, and it looked like that's what you were thinking too. After the invert, you got up on the wheel hard and made sure it looked like you knew your car was good. You needed to be up in clean air and be in the front.
Yeah, I think clean air was important, and I was trying my best to try to, as we passed cars, to make sure I did odd passes. As soon as I got past 6th place, I was in a real big hurry to get to 5th, so that if a caution came out, I could start on the inside. And the same way when I got to 4th, I hurried up and got to 3rd. So that in case there was a caution, we could be the inside. And then when you get to the front row, you basically have as good a shot as anybody. And we saw that outside lane take the lead a couple times today, so I think it was important. But I really enjoyed racing Matt McCall. He's a tough driver. I have to say he's tougher. I haven't got to race him much, but I'd say he's probably one of the toughest guys. And there at the end, he gave me a shot in the back, and I didn't expect anything less. I mean, it's Martinsville. I mean, so his mom was gonna get a shot if she was in front of him, and but it turned out to be what I needed to win the race, because we went in that corner kind of side by side with Davin, and that little shot right there shoved me right out in front of Davin, kind of sideways, lined me up for the straightaway, and then when I gassed up with that Kowalski Dodge, it was like it felt like I had 3 car length lead then after that.
Yeah, and tell me about you've won this race before, but come here you got Clarence's Steakhouse, one of the most famous cars in all of auto racing across the U.S. And they've won they've won modified race here, but this is the first time they've took the victory home in the big late model race.
Yeah, and they've not because they didn't have better drivers than me. It just didn't, things didn't turn out in their favor. They've had guys that lead this race all the way till the very end and have a flat tire. So I'm humbled in the fact that that I was the one to be able to win them the clock, and we're going to deliver that thing over to Clarence's Steakhouse here shortly. And Clarence probably have a heart attack, but well, I know CPR.
and when you pulled in victory line, you're a veteran, you're reserved. You've won a lot of races, but like this one really got to you. You actually jumped on the car and jumped into the crew. I don't think they were expecting that.
I've never done that. I don't do burnouts, and I think that showed up today. Didn't know how to do too good a burnout, but I was just so excited to win this race, and my crew, I think I might have landed on somebody's head or something, but yeah, I don't tear up equipment either. But it was just overwhelming for me to be able to win this race, and I think that showed up a little bit in victory lane.